Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy AA around here for 20, bringing you guys our IBA Week 1 team versus Nin, coach of the Ontario Giratinas, I believe. I forgot. All I know is he changed his name. Point is, it's Giratina's mascot. It's in the thumbnail. It's in the title of this vid as well, and it's a pretty dope logo. Shout out to Odds for that, along with pretty much most of our GFX. Speaking of, in the video, you will find in the description of this video my front office. Shout out to them. They helped me with my team for this week. My front office are goats. We also have linked in this video the other coaches who you should also check out. Their links in the description below. And of course my links. If you don't follow me on Twitter or in my Discord, make sure to check those out as well. So without further ado, let's get right into the game. As you saw from my draft analysis, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this there, but if I didn't, I had a lot of major regrets picking Zeraora pick 1. I figured that it was, especially as early on in the draft as I could have gotten a lot else. They sort of get cleared up after this match, not gonna lie. Zeraora put in a lot of work. Really dope mon. I am a fan of it. I'm really glad I used my pick on it. Some other things, keep in mind, Nin did not bring Mega Garchomp because I actually forgot to put EVs in my, well, I didn't forget to put EVs in my Mega Blastoise. What happened was I was building in school and I forgot to update that version of the Pokepaste that I was sending to myself through Google Docs to import onto my computer, so I didn't need to email my Pokepaste to myself. So basically though, what happened was, I forgot to update that team with my Mega Blastoise set, and because I never sent myself the Mega Blastoise set, I just assumed it was already in there with the rest of my team. So it's also why half my mons don't have nicknames this week. But yeah, so Mega Blastoise had no EVs, and had he brought Mega Garchomp, because I had no EVs in my Mega Blastoise, he 2-hit KO'd every single one on my team with Outrage plus Earthquake. So that could have been very terrifying, especially if he cleared away Sneasel and like caught me on a switch for really anything else to outsped it. So that was very nice to see that he didn't bring. One other note I'd say is I feel like that had Nin at least known what Zeraora's ability was, he may have built Electivire a little differently. I'm pretty sure. I know his choice. I just can't remember what. Well, I'm fairly certain his choice. I just cannot remember what item it was for the life of me. So that is another thing. But at the same time, Nin, that's just bad prep on your part, personally. So let's get right into the match, though. So I figured that my lead was Aerodactyl. Every time in Mach, this was my lead. I figured this was a very safe lead. I could taunt if he let off with Registeel or with the Mega Garchomp that never came. If it was something else, I would switch out because I was fairly certain it was a Scarf. So what I do is right here is I sort of feel like that he is probably going to try and switch out. Worst comes to worst, I end up switching out because I'm at 1 and I get my rocks guaranteed. And then I taught this weekend when it came in because I figured he would probably go for Calm Mind. He actually went for Toxic, so that works for me, trying to probably predict the Chestnut switch. So I go for my Toxics on the Tangrowth. I figured that he was going to try and maybe go for like an HP Flying or a Knockoff. He goes for Knockoff. It's fine, I get the Toxic off. Then I go for Drain Punch because I figured that I can't really touch it either way. He goes in Chandelier, pretty smart play. And I decide here, I'm going to Scout Vis's Choice. Now, this was very, very risky of me, but it ends up actually paying off in the long run. So I go for Spiky Shield here. I Scout, he's going for Shadow Ball. I figured that, okay, 1, I figured I'm going to live a Shadow Ball because I'm Spadef, and 2, I had Bulletproof anyway, which I sort of forgot about, that I forgot until it actually happened that I was Bulletproof. But I knew regardless that I was going to live a Shadow Ball unless he was like modest specs, and even then I figured that it was probably a roll. I never calced it, but I'd assumed it was a roll because I'm somewhat Spadef built. So luckily though I have Bulletproof, saves my ass, because now I actually get to Toxic the Chandelier, which is a massive threat to my team. So I'm like, okay, you know, he's definitely choiced. I'm going to, because obviously, you know, I went for Spiky Shield. I figured he probably would have tried to predict that I was going to stay in and maybe try and read around it. So the fact that he also hard swaps here, I know for a fact he's choice. So I go for Spiky Shield. I figured I can get off some Toxic damage. I don't know why I didn't go for Spiky Shield here, not gonna lie, because it would have been really nice. He actually goes for Hidden Power Flying, gets a crit. So I know I do live another one, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want to try and take another one. So I go for the Spiky Shield regardless, because I figured, you know, more Toxic damage. Here, I proceed to go into Dustin King, our Sneasel. I figured that regardless, he's not going to kill me with an HP Flying, and I could maybe just get off some chip real quick whenever it comes in. He actually hard swaps to Chandelier, and I figured just in case if he's Scarfed, I'm not going to risk anything. And he goes for Fire Blast. I figured that, okay, you know, I could sack Mega Blastoise regardless of what he goes in. He goes for Fire Blast yet again, so he's clearly sacking here. I figured Ice Beam plus Toxic guarantees kill. I didn't want to worry about trying to play it safe and just attack what was in front of me. In case if you want Tangrowth, because I cleared Tangrowth, that was already a major, not even a threat, but just a major mon for my team gone. So here he goes into Electivire. I figured I'm going to try and play around this, maybe try and preserve the 6-0 for now, as he goes for Volt Switch. I then hard swap because I figured that he's going to hard swap as well. I had predicted he was going to go into Tangrowth. He actually Volt Switches, probably predicting I would hard swap and read him. So if not, then that was just him playing bad, I guess. Because I could have definitely killed him off. As he goes for Ice Beam, kills off my Aerodactyl. I figured there was no reason to switch in, because had I switched in, like for example, let's say Chestnut, and I lost Chestnut, that would have been very bad. If he tried to Scald Burn and he got the Scald Burn on my Zeraora, that could have been very bad. Same as on my Salamence, and really not anything besides Mega Blastoise. Mega Blastoise, I guess, could have been a switch in. In hindsight, that probably should have been what I did. I figured that Mega Blastoise could potentially be a sack later on, so I don't know. I guess it was either sack Mega Blastoise or sack Arrow. Point is, though, is I go into Zeraora. I figured that regardless, he's not a close combat switch into this point, so I'm just going to fire off a close combat. As it actually, too, it KOs the Registeel. He does have Protect, however, it still does not get him past close combat range, as he is at 52%, I did 54.7 last time. So he's going to hard swap into Tangrowth real quick, as he probably thinks I'm choiced. I am still doing enough with close combat regardless, though. So, I mean, I just click close combat. I thought I clicked Volt Switch here, but I guess I do that a little bit later on. Oh yeah, he goes into Suicune here. And then I decide to show him I'm not actually choice, and I go for Volt Switch, which is a shit ton to the Suicune. A lot more than I thought, especially because I don't have much special attack investment. I think actually, no, I have a decent amount, because I prepped it for HPS to 2KO non-blocking Mega Garchomp. I decided to go into Mega Blastoise, though. I figured I could sack. I'm trying to bait in the Electivire to come in. Sadly, he does not bring it in. He tries Toxic instead. That's fine. As I said, this is just a sack. I'm just trying to wear down things. Maybe get a burn in the Electivire, because, you know, that makes it taking out even easier. So I decide I'm just going to sack here. Worst comes to worst, I get off good damage on the Electivire if he tries to read me. When he goes for Wild Charge, I figured I can go straight into Zeraora and close combat, because he has no switch-ins, and if he tried to stay in and predict around me, even better. I find out he's probably not... I'm not sure what it is, but if he's choiced, he's definitely banded. So... I mean, I don't know. He might not have even been choice. Maybe he was just playing bad. But regardless, though, I switch out into my Chestnut here. I figured that I thought I would have taken a high jump kick better than that. He's definitely reckless, though, for sure. I'm certain of it. So I go for Spiky Shield. I figured I could try and make it take some chip, though I felt like that was pretty obvious. At this point, though, there was no real reason to keep around Chestnut. It was at 2%. If he got up late game rocks, the Registeel was dead. So I go for the Plasma Fist, because at this point, now that Electivire is gone, I can spam Plasma Fist versus his team, and even if he goes into Registeel, I'm just killing it next turn with close combat. So I kill off the Suicune here, and I decide I'm going to here. Alright, so this was a very risky play. So I decide here I'm going to try and scout for a Scarf. I know that my Sneasel will outspeed any non-Scarf variant of Mienshao, and had he went for Stone Edge, I go into Ments, because if he's Scarfed, I guarantee live the Stone Edge, actually, and I can kill it off next turn with, like, an Outrage or something. Then he kills me off. Well, then he walls me out with Registeel, and I go into Zeraora and get the last kill. Or I can even just go for Earthquake, should I break out a computer before he kills me off. My other option was if he went for High Jump Kick, then I go into Ments, I take the hit, and regardless, I just play around it better. I did not want to switch in Salamence, because had he landed that Stone Edge, then that would have been a sack for Salamence, and that would have been a lot harder to win the game necessarily. I could have still won it, but then he could have sacked Registeel and then came in with Mienshao and landed 2 high jump kicks and won. So very risky. I decided this was definitely my best sack, though. He does go for the Stone Edge. I do see the Scarf. Thankfully, he missed the first one, actually, because that allowed us to scout. I do Calcs. I realized that I'm still actually going to live the hit. And I figured that if he crits with Stone Edge versus Salamence, then that could very well be game. So I go for Plasma Fist here. He actually decides to not try and preserve. Regardless, it would have still been a loss, but, you know, differential. So he brings in Registeel here. He decides to go for Protect. I'm not sure why, because he can't do anything. It's just unnecessary Protect turns, I guess, at this point. Because even though I get a really low roll here, he can't, as you can see, he goes for Seismic Toss. I win no matter what, and luckily he doesn't go for Protect yet again. He knows I won the game. So, good game to Nin. I'm finally starting a league 1-0. Or is this the end of my 1-0s? Maybe there will be another one on Monday, or Tuesday, depending on if I decide to push NPL back because of the Soul Link going up on Monday. So, who knows, though. We got NPL Week 1 coming soon. We have Soul Link coming soon. We may or may not have something going up tomorrow as well, depending on if I have time to edit it. If not, that'll just get pushed back to a later date. Regardless, though, we are 1-0. Next week, we fight against Odds Are in the Memphis Bewares. Odds, I have never beaten in a league format game. I had tossed him in anything else, though, so we will see how that goes. If you guys enjoyed me finally getting a week 1 win, leave a like down below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.